reason I started the Deep Green Wilderness program is because I wanted students to fall in love with the Salish Sea. But that's really, you could say that for the greater outdoors. I want them to understand the environment they're in and then to give them the tools to affect change where they see necessary. This last summer we studied the southern resident killer whales, and so we talked a lot about NOAA and National Marine Fisheries and the people that are charged with shaping the endangered species policy for the killer whales. People love these animals, and because of that, it's a great way for us to provide focus to our program.
So the program really resonates because not only the kids are listening to us, but we get to bring in guest speakers as well. And I feel it was really valuable to have outside faces because they might get tired of us talking nonstop for 2 weeks.
Once you get the students interested in the environment, it's a great way to get them interested in policy.
I think it's wonderful to be mixing the ecology and the policy. That I think gave a much richer understanding of the orcas in the Salish Sea. I think we put the boat in the hands of the students in a way that you just couldn't do on a shorter trip or with more students.
On the larger boats and a larger crew, you learn one thing really well, but you don't necessarily learn the other parts of the boat.
Working as part of such a small crew makes it so that every individual is more involved in the overall program.
We'll wake the students up in the morning and say, okay, where do you guys think the whales are? Figure out how to sail the boat to find the whales. And in the first few days, we help them answer those questions. By the end of the trip, they know where to find those answers, and they start using the boat really efficiently as a research platform.
Oh, I was trying to remember the names for everything on the boat. I was sitting there going, okay, bowsprit, mizzenmast, mainmast, ropey thing.
Just thinking about every little possible detail of how the boat will work. It was sort of, after a while, it was just sort of a thing. Like, we would set the mizzen, and then we would set the main, and then we would have to set the jib or the staysail.
We use both the southern resident killer whales and the students' individual research projects as a way to teach navigation and seamanship on board. Our students are doing some pretty fantastic research. They're all doing their own independent research projects.
Okay, so my project was on whether the boats in the San Juan Islands have any adverse effects on the orca behavior. Every time we saw the orcas, we would count the boats in the vicinity and we would put down a hydrophone and monitor the noise around them.
I measured the dissolved oxygen content in the water. I went to different sites and I had a really long process of taking a plankton tow and then sifting out the plankton and waiting for it to settle.
I'm really interested in birds, and I was looking at areas of human impact and human activity compared to numbers of auks. In the beginning, I picked a couple of sites, and we visited each of those sites, and I spent 15 minutes just documenting the numbers of each kind of bird.
So all of those, either through the food chain, through water quality, or very directly, are related to the orca whales. They're going to come up with some data if they feel like what they have tells them that some change needs to be made to keep a healthy ecosystem. The way to affect that change is by putting that data in the hands of the policymakers. So it's really easy to get a student interested in killer whales, but it's not easy to get a student interested in their civics class. But if you can take that enthusiasm for the environment and translate their interest in that to an interest in policy, then all of a sudden you have this really big picture of how people are working behind the scenes to make sure that that whale population is going to be stable for the next 500 years.
Like the first week, like it didn't seem like it was going by fast. It was just like so amazing and everything was awesome. And then we hit the second week and I began to realize that I was going to have to go home.
No, I was trying to figure out where I can hide so I could stay.
Yeah, actually, my last night I was thinking, how was that 2 weeks? Yeah, people ask me about my summer. The first thing I say is, I went on the trip 2 weeks on a boat called the Orion, and it was like the best experience ever.
I can count some of the best days of my entire life from this trip.
Our experience on board with our students last summer was fantastic. This next summer, we're looking for another great group of students. We're going to offer scholarships. We don't want to turn any student away. So if you're interested, please get in touch with us, and we'll figure out a way to get you on board.